Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. How are you all today? I am here live at 1:30 in the UK and 3:30, well, 1:36 actually. 3:36 in Qatar, 4:36 in the Middle East, um, 5:36 in Pakistan, and about 6:06 in India. I think I've remembered all of them. Oh, and not forgetting the Eastern Standard Time of 8 a.m. The rest of the world may be too late for you, or you might be asleep right now, or it might be either too late or too early for you, but that's okay, because inshallah you can catch us on the replays, inshallah. And if you're there, say hi to me, say salam alaikum, tell me where you're listening from. I'd love to hear from you all. And yeah, if you watch this afterwards, please do the hashtag replay, because I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts, mashallah. So we're here normally every Thursday, and we normally have different guests coming in, and unfortunately today's guest cancelled, so you get to have some time with me. Yay! So I haven't had a lot of time to prepare, but inshallah, one of the parents, Sister Saima, actually asked me for some advice the other day on kids going back to school, and I thought actually this is a good time to do this for everyone. So if you are at all worried about your younger kids going back to school, maybe you've been homeschooling for a while and it's their first time back at school. Maybe they were COVID children, so they've had a couple of years off and now they're going to start school for the first time. So there's quite a few I think cases of children not having been to school for the first couple of years. They've either missed nursery or they missed reception, which is KG1 and KG2 with the American system, and obviously year 1 and 2 of school with other systems, right? So there might be children that are going into school for the first time, right? So they might be older. So sometimes when they go to school a bit younger, they've got some time to adjust and get used to the idea. So I just thought it would be a nice idea to have a little chat about that. So you guys are welcome to please comment. Please let me know if you have any questions, if you have any advice for the mums that are listening. That would be brilliant, because we want to create that sense of community, right? You all know about that, what we're doing in the Q&A hub. Unfortunately, you might have noticed that the email did not go out today. That's because I had to cancel it last minute. So I will rewrite it and send it out, inshallah, by tomorrow. But it won't be reminding you to watch today. It will be telling you to catch up on the replay. So I do apologize about that. But anyway, this is life and this is what happens. So we just roll with it, don't we? Alhamdulillah. So when the kids have been at home for such a long time, there's the virus is a problem, vaccinations was an issue, people were like, shall we not do this, what shall we do? Yesterday I actually ended up meeting some friends of mine, and they were talking about how long they didn't have any takeaway for, they didn't eat out for such a long time because of COVID, right? So many things changed that it's almost like we can't remember what life was like before, right? So it kind of compounds that anxiety that we've got, because it's on top of normal anxiety of your child going to school for the first time, on top of their anxiety of being at school for the first time. It's the unknown now, because this is like a new deal for everybody. So I thought it was a good time to just have a little chat. Does anyone feel like that right now? Do you want to let me know in the comments, and let me know what you think, if that's going to happen. If you're worried about your child that might be leaving for college this year or university, so that might cause some issues with them as well. So I just want to talk a little bit about that. So obviously a lot of children year on year have difficulty adjusting to school, but this is like extra this year, isn't it? Because there's all of these other things have been compounded. This is probably the first year that people have felt like, yes, it's going to be a normal year, inshallah, after such a long time of not doing that, right? So one of the first things that I can suggest to you is to do a trial run. So if possible, go in with your child and say, just visit on the first day, go inside, be with them, show them around, give them an example. I guess this would be really better to do before the holidays, but since I wasn't planning on doing this talk, I've just planned it now. Maybe this week you could pop into school. The teachers will be there. All the teachers are always there before school starts anyway. And the schools normally are going to start this week, right? On Monday, inshallah. Try talking about the school with them. Try telling them about their lunch, about their routine, about what they can expect, to just have that idea in their mind. Okay, it's going to be different. One of the things that when my kids went, I think I've told you guys, right? I put them in a school last February. They went for a little while. Then they had the rest of the year off. But when they went back to school, it was about eating. They were so used to eating all day, every day, that was a bit of an adjustment for them. Apologies, my son's just not dressed. Suleiman, I can see you, darling. Can you sit over there, please? It's just really super hot here, so I apologize for that if anyone saw that. Anyway, so do talk about it. Try to not to worry them about it. Try not to talk about it too much. I know that's a bit funny because I'm saying to you, talk about it, and then I'm saying don't talk about it too much. There's always a balance with everything, right? So try not to talk and worry them extra, but just give them an idea about what they can expect and what life might be like for them. Like we said, talk about the schedule, the routines, whether they're going to have break time, where the toilets are, and let them know that, sharing things with others, kind of all of these things that they might not have done last year as well, right? There was all of this talk about bubbles. Now they might have playground with more kids, playtime, with more kids in the playground. I'm just going to look at my hijab and just apologize. I'm having a bad hijab day, if that's a thing. I don't know if you guys ever have a bad hijab day. Have you guys had a bad hijab day? Please make me feel better. Let me know in the chat if you've had a bad hijab day, because today is just annoying. Anyway, let's move on. So try to think with your kids or talk about their feelings, right? So when kids are anxious, normally parents are like, don't worry about it, it's fine, stop worrying, it's okay, right? But we try to stop them from worrying by just telling them, hey, stop worrying. But for us, if we were going to a new job, a new school, a new place, we would also feel the same anxiety. I talked to a parent this morning who was going back to work after 6 weeks off, and she was like, oh, it's her first day back, and it's an adjustment, right? The sleeping times are different in holidays, the waking times are different. Like I said, the snack times are different, right? So even parents, we feel it. So we want to tell them that it's normal to feel like that. It's okay to feel like that, but we're going to be able to manage it. So we want to tell the kids, you are strong, my darling. You can handle this. I know you feel worried. I know you are feeling anxious, and I know it's going to be strange for a little while. I know it's going to be hard to wake up early in the morning after such a long time of having lions and doing whatever we want. It might be difficult to get into a routine, right? But it's okay. You can handle it, and I'm here to support you. I'm your mum, or I'm your dad, and I'm here to support you. And if you have any problems, come and talk to me. So you're basically giving the kids confidence. You're strengthening them in their belief that they can manage it. Some parents like to give the kids a little memento, a little something to remember them by, might be a picture of their family, or like a little teddy or something like that. And to be honest with you, I didn't think that there was any value in this, to be really honest with you. So I don't think I've ever done it with my kids. But this year in Hafsa's class, the teacher actually said, could you send a toy with them, because we're going to have a toy picnic on Thursday. So we sent it. This was last Thursday. We sent it with them, and she came back so happy, like she'd shown something from her house to her friends, and her friends had played with her toy and she'd played with their toy. So in a way, I think it was actually a good idea. So if you want to do that, you can. If the kids are really young and they've got like a teddy or a blanket that they love, you can stick that in their bag for them. I know a lot of teachers don't like extra toys and things. things, because first of all, other kids start fighting and wanting it, which causes problems. And then also they, if the child loses it, it's like another big problem. And then also sometimes the kids don't put it away, so that could be another problem. But as long as you tell them, keep it inside your bag, don't take it out unless it's break time, give them some rules, then inshallah it should be absolutely fine. What do you sisters think? Are you agreeing with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know what you think. Is there anything new here that you didn't think of before? Please do let me know. In terms of sleeping and waking up times, I think I've said it earlier as well. In the holidays, we do tend to have, I definitely am very lax with the sleeping and waking up times. Unless I've got somewhere to go, I'll be quite chilled with what time they go to bed and what time they wake up. But about a week before they start school, you just kind of start getting them into that routine of trying to sleep a little bit earlier, waking up a little bit earlier, making sure that they're ready, trying to just get that routine going again before they start school, so it's not like a huge shock to the system. So even if the kids are at school on the weekdays, and then the weekends their routine goes out of whack, try to keep like a consistent routine. I think I've told you guys before, I'm not that into schedules. I'm not into this must be at this time and that must be at that time. But what we do, and I know Iram does this as well, is try to match things to Salah time. So we'll do our prayers, and then at that time there'll be another activity going on. Yeah, so like I think I've told you guys before, just before Maghrib, that's when we all sit and pray together. So again, it brings them into the routine before they even start work. Yeah. Remember that in the morning, especially on the first day back or the first week back, they're going to be a little bit stressed out. Try to keep it all light, try to keep it all fun, and give them something that they like to eat for snacks, something to look forward to. Tell them that when you come home, we're going to do this. Maybe you'll give them a bit of extra screen time. Maybe you'll take them out to the park. Just give them something, and then it might be that in this case school might be difficult this week, but don't worry, it'll be easier next week. Be honest with them. Tell them that it's all right. People find things hard all the time, right? You guys might find it hard, but don't worry about it. Everyone goes to school, everyone does this, and so on. Yeah. When you are dropping your child off, please say goodbye and go. Don't prolong it. Okay. The longer you prolong it, the worse it's going to be for you and for them, because they'll have hope that you're going to stay with them. The trouble with this, what I have with positive peaceful parenting, is when you hear your child cry, my heart just breaks. And I think I've told you guys before this as well, that I did it one time when Aisha went to nursery. This was when I was a working mum and I just had to leave her there. She was a 1-year-old little baby, and the teacher was like, please mum, just go. And I left and I could hear her crying. And although I left her, the whole entire day, all I could hear was her crying in my ears. And I couldn't, it was so stressful. I ended up crying at work myself, and I was thinking I'm a horrible mom. I had really bad mom guilt. And at that time, there was no parenting with Allah by my side. I didn't know any coaches. I didn't know anybody to help. I just had the example of a few other teachers who had kids, but obviously their kids were older. And it was, I'm not going to lie, it was so stressful. Like I said, I ended up crying. So going to pick her up that evening, she was happier, and she ended up loving that nursery so much that when I would go to pick her up, she would be like hanging out with the teacher, and the teacher would be playing with her, and she wasn't even ready to come home. That's how much she ended up liking it. But that didn't stop me from the next time that happened with Suleiman. He's my other anxious child. I stayed there for longer. I stayed in the vicinity, and I told him, I said, I'm here, don't worry about it, until he went in without crying. But he was a bit older. He was 4 years old when he started at that place. But then obviously COVID happened within a few months, so he's been homeschooled for the rest of the time. But hopefully, inshallah, my experience should give you a bit of a hand with that. Did anyone find that useful and helpful? I hope that you did, inshallah. Now, for sure, like we said, like I've just said, I know that parents with younger kids are going to struggle in a different way to parents with older kids, right? And parents that are homeschooling are going to have different struggles to parents whose kids go to school. So let's mention the homeschoolers in the middle there, my favorite people at the moment. Alhamdulillah, I've just got my daughter through her IGCSEs by being homeschooled for the last 3 years. I thought it was a fantastic way to learn, so I took the other kids out as well. But because of COVID, because of all the restrictions, the outings were really limited, and the fact that we live really far away from anything, we have to keep traveling into the city to do anything, all the activities and things like that. So I ended up putting them into a community school, which actually has been really, really good for them. So I'm not totally against schools, let me be clear on that, and I'm not totally against homeschooling. I think both have their positives, and both, obviously there are some minuses here and there. However, if you mishmash the two together and you're a peaceful, positive parent, you supplement their education at home, you let them go to school. You know, a lot of people say that school gives them the socialization, right? I agree in that case for us, because like I said, it's a community school and that's what they focus on. So they don't make them sit quietly and, you know, sitting in lines and all of that. It is more about engagement, group work, going out and, you know, enjoying the environment. So it would be a bit different to a normal school. But in terms of socialization, don't worry. If your children are homeschooled, as long as they're going to clubs, they're going to activities, they'll get all the socialization they need. As a school teacher, I think the thing that I said around 70-80% of the time was, shh, can you be quiet, please? Listen to me. As a teacher, we've got so much information to give to the kids within a very short space of time that there literally is no time for question answer. That's why I love teaching online now, because that we've got that banter, we've got that question answer, we've got the kids communicating and asking questions, and I'm able to answer them because I have time. And if I don't have time in my lesson, I'll stay 10 minutes extra. It's not a problem, because it's my choice and it's their choice whether we're here, and we're here to stay, right? So I just wanted to put that into, yes, you can do both, you can do one, you can do the other. No one is better than anyone else. Everyone is on their own journey. Okay, so I just want to finish with a few tips. I'm not getting any comments in today. I don't know where everybody is. Probably if you've sent your kids off already to school, you might be having a nice well-earned rest today. If your kids are homeschooled, maybe it's the first day that you're like, hey, everyone's out at school, let me take my kids out and have all the playground to myself. Maybe you've gone back to work as well, so maybe that's why nobody's here. So I'm giving myself lots of excuses. Please do tell me, #replay, and tell me where you were, what you did today. I hope you've been having lots of fun, whatever it is. So what I want to do is start with or just give you the alternative for the older kids, because they are going back to school, and I am going to be doing another webinar inshallah soon. I believe I might possibly do it on this Saturday, hopefully. Oops, excuse me, but the email was supposed to go today. So if I end up sending an email tomorrow, it's only going to be 1 day notice. So I might end up doing it on Sunday. But anyway, the point is, the webinar is going to be the 5 biggest mistakes that students make when they're revising. So please do, if you have older kids, come in and watch the webinar, and hopefully, inshallah, you'll get a lot out of it. So for older students, I do think that it's a good idea to be ready to learn. So when they go in, they're in year 7 now, or they're in year 9 now, or they're in year 11. All of these are key years, right? 8 and 10 are key as well, but they're sort of like the second year of Key Stage 3 or the first year of GCSE, right? What I would like to say is that a lot of parents and a lot of students go out the first couple of weeks of the holidays, or the last couple of weeks, and you go out and you buy all the stationery and highlighters and record cards and all of these things, and the kids are like, yes, I'm going to learn. And then you open your exercise book, the first page, second page, beautiful neat notes, and then as it gets on, the third, fourth day, the first week, the writing gets worse and worse. I'm sure you guys have seen this in your own books and maybe in your children's, right? So what would be a good thing is to maybe give the kids like a system of either looking after their notes, give them a system of how you would, not how you would like them to do things, or how they would like to record their notes, right? Give them the ownership. Let them decide whether they're going to handwrite things, whether they're going to do diagrams. Give them the tools that they need. Show them how to draw mind maps. They are so useful. And again, I'm doing a webinar on that as well, or that'll be part of the class, the revision class that I'm doing. But the mind maps are so awesome because they show the student how things are linked together, which means that when they recall it in an exam, they can go step by step and they'll know how it's all linked together. So it's one of these things that is so, so useful. If you can teach them how to study before they go to school, that'll be like something that they can use now and in the next year and all the way until they finish studying, right? And even beyond, because who has actually stopped studying? Can you tell me? Do you want to tell me in the chat, please, sisters, if you have actually stopped studying? Do let me know. Because most of the people that I know are lifelong learners, right? We're all lifelong learners as Muslims anyway. So it's a good idea to continue with that and just, try to keep your knowledge relevant, update your knowledge, update the revision ways that you're doing the methods. You can watch loads of YouTube videos and work out awesome ways of revising and then share that with your kids later on. It will be a bonding exercise for them, it will be team building for them, and it will be connecting you to them again, right? Building that connection that we've been working on this entire summer that we don't want to lose once they go to school. So sitting with them after school, checking their bags, checking their notes, checking their homework diaries, all of these things are things that you can do to really help your children with their studies. Okay, I'm so sorry. Suleiman, please sit down, darling. He's just feeling really hot, so he's just hanging out as he is. Okay, what another thing that you can do with them is to start some kind of journal, like a homework journal, productivity journal, assignment journal, somewhere that they can organize their thoughts. They can organize their assignments, they can note down the deadlines, and they can really keep on top of how much work they have to do. Because a lot of the time, a teacher will tell the students, okay, you've got this to do, this worksheet or this essay or whatever it is, and they just go class to class and they hear what they have to do, but they haven't written it down anywhere. Which then means that they'll either forget or they'll end up on Sunday night doing like 20 pieces of work. So if you kind of just watch that, now I'm not talking about being a helicopter parent. I think you all know what I mean by standing over them and making sure, like really strict with the authoritarian approach. With the authoritative approach, remember we talked about that before, you are doing it together with them. So it's like a system that you're developing together and you're helping them to understand. So sometimes in the American system especially, they'll have like a system of grading. So 50% of the mark might just be for their attendance, their punctuality, for being in the lesson. And then the other 50% of the mark will be for the work that they've done, their homework, their assignments, and their tests and quizzes. So being aware of what the rubric is, what the ideal behavior is for the child is really, really important for you and for them, so that they know what the expectations are, they know how to behave, and they know how the system is going to work for them. So, you know, like I just said to you, 50% of their grade might just be on their attendance. We'll just make sure they always attend, they're always on time, and you'll be sure of a good mark in that lesson. And that goes down for everything, actually. The more that they attend and the more that they are there present, the more that they'll understand. Because again, sometimes when I'm teaching students, when I'm tutoring, like, you know, this week, I think you all know that I've started my lessons back again. And one of the kids actually said to me, "Oh, I think I was absent for that lesson." And that's it. That's a huge key lesson or a key point that they needed to know about atoms and elements in chemistry, but he was absent. And the teachers don't have time at schools to go over and check, did every single student understand that, right? So they've missed something really important, which means that they can't do the rest of the stuff that's coming afterwards, right? So it's important that we do help them be consistent and attend school and so on. Like I said earlier, right, putting notes in your diaries, putting notes in their diaries about when the work is due, what they have to do, and when the deadlines are, putting it all together is really, really important for them. Because it will A, help keep them organized, B, it will help them to memorize things, right? So how's that going to work? Like I said to you about mind maps and things, it's all about blocking things into different boxes and how those boxes all link together. So if you have a clear picture in your mind of how you've drawn it on a page, then that will help you or help your child to memorize it and come back to it later, right? So it's really important that the that students of, you know, the older stages especially try to make themselves have a really good system of studying, a good system of revision, a good system of making notes, a good system of recalling those notes, right? They might have to do the learning styles quiz to find out which learning styles they find easier and how they want to learn, or how they would learn better. That is possible, but nowadays a lot of teachers have come to the conclusion that children can learn in all sorts of different ways. So when we do a lesson, we do try to give them it in an auditory way by obviously telling them about it, in a visual way by giving them diagrams and information. We try to get them to play with something or do something practically, again, to give them that experience of having handled it. And we found that a multi-sensory approach, not just one way of learning, actually helps them even more. So the more senses we use in learning, the more helpful it will be for the students and the more that they will learn, right? You can use technology. There are so many apps nowadays that you can actually there are so many sites nowadays that you can actually use for revision. So one of the sites that I like to use is Quizzes. Another one is Quizlet. Another one is Kahoot. I think Socrative is being phased out. No, sorry, it's not. It's Edmodo. Socrative is still being used yet. So all of these websites will help them in different ways on how to revise. They'll give them quizzes that they can revise with. There's quizzes to check their current knowledge. When they're revising for a test, it might just be boring to go over notes and rewriting things. So it's nice to have questions, practice questions that they can actually solve and really like understand the work so that they actually master the topic and they get really good marks like automatically with that, right? One of the other things that you can do at home with them is create a learning environment for them. Create a space at home where they can sit and study without being disturbed. And I'm laughing at this because, alhamdulillah, we've managed to create these environments upstairs. In every child's bedroom, they've got some space. They've got a desk or a table, whatever they wanted, actually. One of my daughters just wanted a table rather than a desk, but the point is it's there. She's got a chair, she's got all her books nearby. The funny thing is, why I'm laughing is because you'll find them sitting on their bed studying, sitting on the floor studying, sitting in the living room, sitting in the dining room. Now, I'm not going to be strict about it and go back upstairs and go and sit over there. But if there are distractions, if the little kids are running around, I will tell them, please go and find somewhere quiet to work, because although living in a house with, there's a lot of noise going on, people coming in and out, it is nice in a way as well. And like we said, with the social aspect of humans, we do enjoy that. When it comes to work, we do need as least distractions as possible. So as I explained to you guys today, I had to cancel today's email because I couldn't send it, because obviously the guest wasn't coming in. I could have just deleted that part and just sent out the email as it was, but I wanted to actually update it and write some other stuff in, but I didn't have the bandwidth. I wasn't concentrating only on that. I have another couple of things to do today, so I've actually scheduled in my mind, okay, I haven't put it on a paper because it's not something that I normally do on a Thursday night, but I have added that to my schedule for Thursday night, so that inshallah tomorrow I can send it out again. Now, I know that I can't do this work from 2 o'clock to 7 or 8 in the evening. That time is super busy. Although I'm here doing my live now, the kids are having their screen time while I'm doing the live. So I do figure out a way to do certain things, but they have to be in a particular routine and a particular schedule for me. And I think that it would be really good for your students, your children as well, to learn how to be good students. Yeah, you might find that they'll be more comfortable out of the house. They might be comfortable sitting outside in the garden. When I was at my sister's house and I was teaching last year, the kids were inside at some points. All the children were inside, so it was like a really, mashallah, busy household. And I just sat outside in the garden. It was cold, I'm not going to lie. It was about end of September, October time, and it started getting cold in the evenings, but it meant that I could really focus on what I was doing. And again, just smiling, remembering that, subhanallah, last year my students were taught in 6 different cities, subhanallah, in 3 different countries. It's just amazing sometimes to think about stuff like that. Like I said earlier, you can use lots of websites and apps to help. And one of the other apps that you can use to help is one that helps you to concentrate. I've actually forgotten the name of it. It'll come back to me in a second. But basically, I think it's called Focus, but I'll write it in the chat, seeing as nobody's chatting to me today. I think you guys are really busy. But anyway, either that or I just can't see the comments if they're coming in. Anyway, there is a really good app. And what it does is it draws a tree. So you put it on your phone or your iPad and it draws a tree. And as you're doing your work or whatever, the tree is getting like bigger and bigger, and it's getting assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. Sister Simon, thank you so much for saying hello. I thought I was all alone today. But this tree appears out of nowhere, and as you do more and more work, the tree gets bigger and bigger and more beautiful, and you get more and more trees in your forest, right? So it's like it encourages the kids, because they're looking at their phone as, oh, if I don't touch it, another tree's gonna grow, right? Which again psychologically really helps them to study. The last thing that I'm going to say is about the teachers. So we teachers love teaching our students. We are there as a service to you guys. So when I'm at a school, my priority is the children and the students and their parents, right? As a teacher, we sometimes do get parents that come in and they either try to tell us how to do our job, or they're really like I think they kind of listen to what their child has said, and they don't hear what the teacher's about to say or what the teacher's point of view is before they go off on one. And then the teacher has to really work hard at calming them back down and explaining what the real situation was, right? So what I would like to say is that whenever your child comes back to you and says such and such happened with such and such teacher, go to the teacher with the view that let's solve the problem, rather than I'm going to go and complain about the teacher now, right? And then the reason I say that to you is because, having been a teacher, the parents that come to me with a solution-oriented mindset, and the children, the child parent-child relationship is better immediately. You can see that. And then the student-teacher relationship gets better as a result of that, right? If your child needs help, if your child is has trouble reading, if your child has had a bad day, right, letting your teacher know, whether they're in primary or whether you send a quick email to the form tutor if they're in secondary, letting the teachers know goes a long way in solving problems with children. So if we think of like school and home as a relationship, that will really help your child and yourself and the teacher in creating that nurturing environment. So I do really suggest that we work together with teachers. I also suggest that the children are not scared to go back and say, hey, miss, or hey, sir, can you please help me with this, this, and this, because I don't understand any of this, right? I'm going to end with my favorite teacher of all time. His name was Dr. Olakoshi, and he's working in a school in East London at the moment. And he is who I kind of base my teaching on, right? Because I was one of those students that didn't understand first time sometimes. I did GCSE, so the A levels were just super difficult for me. And I was going into a school where some of the kids had come from grammar schools, having done IGCSEs, they'd done private exams, they had private tutors. And I was just this kid from up north who's come down now, and I've only done my GCSEs, and I'm finding it difficult to access the A2. The AS I did all right with, because I was with my own teachers back home, but this was a new school and I had to do A2, and they had skipped a whole module, or I had skipped a whole module. Now, he could have said to me, sorry, mate, I can't help you, but he would help me at 7 in the morning. And my thankfulness to him has come out in the way that I help my students, alhamdulillah. So, they can call me, text me, WhatsApp me, and inshallah, I'm there to help them. And I really think that, again, that goes without saying for every teacher that is there to serve the students. So please, work with the teachers, help them to understand what's going on. If your child, like I said, if they haven't eaten their breakfast, or they were in a really bad mood, or something happened the day before, if you let the teachers know, they can really help your child and make a difference. Because when we know, we can chat to them, we can talk, and again, we're coming from a different point of view. We're not the parent, obviously, but we're coming from a trusted adult point of view where we can really support you and your children, inshallah. Do you know what, guys? I didn't know that I had like 40 minutes of information to share today. I was thinking that I'm just going to come in and give a few tips, and it's going to be like a 10-minute quick, hey, inshallah, I hope your kids do well at school. I hope you guys have a wonderful first week. I know some kids have gone back today in the UK. Some are going in tomorrow. I know one of my students is going in tomorrow, and I was like, why? Just for one day. But honestly, inshallah, I hope that you've all had a wonderful, wonderful summer holiday. Those of you that are in the Q&A hub and have downloaded our summer packs, please do let us know if you've enjoyed them. If you did any of the activities, stick them on Instagram, hashtag PWABMS, and share them with us. We'll reshare it, inshallah, on our pages for you. And let's create this community and nurture it and really go somewhere with this now, inshallah. We're ready. Arab and I have had the summer off, and alhamdulillah, we were treading water and keeping it all going. But inshallah, we'd love to see you guys back on the lives, and we're going to love to have Sister Sara Amira Saleh coming soon. We've got Sister Rakshanara Chowdhury, she's going to come in soon. We've got another few teachers and coaches coming in to talk about schooling and how to do exams and things like that. Again, I apologize with my alarms. By the way, I think you guys know that my life works on alarms. So every time an alarm comes, that means there's another task to do. Hafsa, can you just turn it off, darling? Or Salman, please. I don't even know where it is. My phone's disappeared somewhere on top of everything else. Thank you, darling. So yeah, okay, so you can do that as well. I don't know if you want me to show you all my 50 million alarms, but I have got lots of alarms on, and that's how I kind of organize the life in these days, because otherwise I don't want to forget anything. I also have notebooks and journals. Maybe one day when it's nice and neat, I'll try to take a photo of a neat page and show it to you, inshallah. When I was doing the homeschooling, I've got a big planner where I plan out all the work for them for the week. So again, that's really useful as well if you've got planners, if you've got journals. If you need the journals or you need the planners, anyone that's bought our conferences will get all of these free resources, because you've got a link. If you go into your library, there's a link that will say free resources. You can click on it and then you'll see all the things that we've offered for free from all the different coaches that have come in. Even now, there's free webinars you can attend. There's if you sign up to the different coaches, you'll get emails about what they're doing as well. So that's a really helpful resource as well. Just thought I'd let you all know. I'm super sorry that I'm speaking so fast, but again, I do need to go now. But it's been wonderful as usual, and inshallah, I look forward to seeing all of your messages and what you guys have to say in the chat, inshallah, very soon. And we'll be back next week with, inshallah, another coach, and I will let you know who it is in the email. All right then, sisters. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. Have a lovely, lovely day, inshallah.